Hello. Hello to my students, which I literally saw a few minutes ago. And everyone, welcome. I hope that we will have a great hour together. I'm very much a person that likes to interact with people. So feel free to talk to me, ask questions, say anything that you feel like throughout. You don't have to wait to the end. If you feel like, oh, I don't know if I want to talk on camera, use the chat box function and I will try to keep an eye on it. If I have missed it, I do apologize, but I will try to keep an eye on the chat if you want to have a question. And if you don't want to say the question out loud, you can also private message me. That's fine too. Um, and yeah, let's begin. Let's begin while we are here. I don't know where everyone is residing right now. I'm in London, so I'm assuming that everyone is kind of all over the shop, or is everyone down south? Not if you sort of no. Okay, you're all over. Okay, great. Okay, so there we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Um, so this is things I wish I knew, and boy, is there's a lot I wish I knew before I enter this industry. Um, so give me like a sort of like a thumbs up or a hands up if you are an aspiring dancer or an artist. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. Great. All right. Good stuff. And I might like ask people directly, so you might hear your name getting called out. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Um, so I will speak a little bit about myself first. My name is Yami. I also go by the name Rowdy. It's my stage name, like Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. Um, I started working within this industry 21 years ago. So it's been a long run. I never went to uni. I never went to any sort of dance schools, dance college, or anything like this. I have completely forged this road on my own. I started quite late, what we say in dance term late. I started at age 15. That was the first time I went to a dance class by just seeing it on TV and then sort of entering a dance space for the first time. If you haven't realized, I'm not English. So my accent, I'm not English. I was raised in Sweden. And I started straight away learning hip hop. And I haven't really learned any other dance except on the side, for fun, a little bit of salsa here and there. But hip hop is what I do through and through. So I'm not classically trained. I could not teach you a torture technique to save my life. Um, I started in Sweden as a Black kid in a very white society. Everyone around me was white, and that was kind of my norm. My norm was also having a lot of racial abuse on a daily basis. Dance was a space where I could kind of a little bit escape that reality, where we had a little bit more diversity, and the music provided a little bit more diversity into my daily life. So I was used to not being heard and seen, and so I was a very awkward and shy kid, believe it or not. And I was bullied for being Black. And when I entered hip hop, there was another problem, the fact that I was a woman, because hip hop is a very male dominated industry. Now, I decided that this was not my jam, and I realized there must be something more to me. I excelled in dance, and I sort of built my reputation in dance. Um, However, the town was not big enough for my ego. The country was not big enough for my head. So I decided, like, this is not going to work. I'm only getting so far here. No one is really telling me how to be, except that I cannot be, being Black, being woman. So I felt the opportunities wasn't really there for me, and I decided to move to England. Uh, that is a whole nother story. If you want to know a little bit more in depth on my story, there's a thing called the Hip Hop Almanac, and you can see amazing stories from loads of known dancers in my industry, the hip hop dance industry. It's a great resource if you want to know a little bit of dancing history in the UK. And there you can kind of find out a little bit more in depth on my story. So that's called the Hip Hop Almanac. Yes, there you go. And so skipping forward, moving to England, I realized once again, I've now landed in a country that has much more diversity, which seems to be great, and much more women doing dancing. Because when I started, there was no really women doing dancing. And so another challenge was then to sort of upskill myself, because I thought I was badass when I came to England, and that was not the case. I had to smell the coffee real quick and learn that there's different levels to everything. But once again, there was no guiding line. This is what you do to money. So this is how you don't injure yourself, and so on and so on. It was always just learning as you go, because hip hop does not have buildings like Laban, like Erdine, where they teach you on a daily basis how to sustain yourself as a dancer and artist, and also have in-house physios. So we are very much on our own in this kind of industry. So I realized once again, there was no representation of myself or sort of what I like to do. And in Sweden, I started the first all-female dance group in Sweden. And I realized in England, they didn't have that either. So I started an all-female dance group, the first one in England as well. Two different categories, because I didn't see it. And I was often silenced again. And the red line throughout was coming from a country that didn't appreciate me, going into an industry that didn't really appreciate me, moving in circles that didn't really rate me or respect me, but always pushing through and always staying true to my voice, that became bigger and bigger and bigger, and to the point where I can't shut up anymore. So there was no guiding lights. There was no sort of a way of going straight forward. It was always like this. And so skipping forward to today, me working now as a dancer for 21 years, one thing that's very simple in hip hop is like authenticity. If you're not real, people will call you out real quick. If you're not showing your skills, people will call you out real quick. And it becomes very apparent if you're going to last long enough in the scene. So my thing was like, be loud, make loads of noise, know what you're talking about, be confident, and keep going. And that was my thing. And so I made sure I studied what I talked about. I visited people that's still alive, that teaches the things that they that I teach. So it was a matter of fact of literally trying to sustain yourself in a industry that was really tough. And like I said, we'll call you out at any time. Throughout my career, I've always hit barriers in terms of people not seeing hip hop as a culture, as a dance, not taking it seriously, thinking that we don't know what we're talking about, and haven't got history, and arguing all the time. And it's tiring, but I've been an advocate for hip hop for such a long time, and now I teach at the university, and we have modules in hip hop and in hip hop dance, which has never happened, was never around when I grew up. So we have made a massive advancement in how people respect hip hop and hip hop artists. We also have hip hop theater, which has taken a whole new life in the mainstream theater. So it is moving forward, but it's taken a long time to move forward. Skipping forward a little bit further, I realized that I wasn't just a dancer that had things to say. So I started doing spoken word and making more of a theatrical style to my performances. And I got into what we call hip hop theater. And moving forward again, that's how I started to become a creative movement director, working with mainstream theater and directing my own plays. This is kind of like a snapshot of my sort of directory. We can be here all day talking about my life, but that's not what we're here for. I wanted to show you two pictures of two shows that made a massive impact in my life. The first picture is by a company called Hot Brown Honey, which I'm a member of. And I traveled to Sydney. Long story short, I saw a show in Sydney that I said I'm going to be in, and a year later I was in that show. That's a story for another day. But just going to show you the image of them, and then you can tell me. Let me see. Yeah, just there. Can everyone see that? Thumbs up if you can. Great stuff. So this is Hot Brown Honey. It's an Australian group. It's women from Black and Indigenous backgrounds. And once again, the storyline is they, in Australia, they are often suppressed, often silenced, and never get to have platforms. So these ladies in the middle, Lisa and Basti, they decided, you know what, we're going to make a group, and we're going to almost be like superheroes, and we're going to show everyone how amazing we are on stage. So they created Hot Brown Honey, and they are, we're a collective of sort of radical feminists, intersectional feminists, burlesque, circus, rapping, dancing, all of it. And they now travel around the world. And this is another, no. There we go. So this is another, and like in hip hop, we always have like street names. So these are different names in the group. And you can recognize someone in the middle there. But it was all about being out, being loud, not taking things, sitting down, using our voices for other people, and making sure that we are leading the way in the industry for people, for women to be heard. Then we got, oh, it comes back to this again. So then we got the side product of that, which is this group, which is called Hive City Legacy, which is the UK version, or our sister version of Hot Brown Honey. So we gathered a group of femmes here in the UK from London, and we created a group called Hive City Legacy and a show. And we talked about how it is to be a Black femme in London and all the differences Black women bring to the table. So this show was shown for 2 years in London, and it showcased once again circus, rapping, beatboxing, dancing, and all of these ladies, all of these femmes are specializing in different things, and they showcase their skills in that way. Let me see if I can, oh yeah, there we go. And this is a still from the show. It was all about showing characters and the absurdity of things that are being brought to women of color.
I can't see that one, Yami. I think.
Oh, my bad, sorry. Can you see it now? Yeah, so this was all about being absurd and sort of talking about how to be British and what makes people say British. And this is actually a scene when they kind of keep saying sorry and sorry and sorry. So it was all about pushing that kind of extreme. So most of the things that I work in is extreme, sort of outrageous, cross art. So you will have people hanging from the ceiling while they're rapping, while they're dancing to a rock track. That's kind of how I work. It's kind of my jam. And that was something that I literally just fell into because of the lineage of how I moved throughout the industry. So enough talking about me. I wanted to know from you, just to kind of shout out some things. What is your hopes and fears facing going into the industry? And you can put them in the chat box, or you can shout it out. Put your on mute and shout it out. So what's your hopes and what's your fears going into the industry? Oh, everyone's writing. Feel free to just call it out as well. Wow, it's taking long. Hopes and fears going into the industry. And you don't have to do both, you can do one.
Okay, I've got one that was sent to me privately, which they said to make a difference to at least one person.
Okay, cool. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. Cool. And I guess that's a hope, not a fear. Great. I didn't start my trajectory of thinking I'm going to make a difference. Okay. I the first all female groups because I was going to make a difference. I didn't see it. It wasn't there. I didn't have role models. So I had to be my role model. And therefore, I managed to make an impact in someone else's life. I've been involved in a lot of female empowerment projects, not because that is exactly what I wanted to, now it's what I wanted to do, but at the time I didn't know that's what I wanted to do. It was just, you're an outspoken girl, go and lead these women. Okay, I guess so. And not realizing the impact that you do on someone. I even have people today saying, I remember coming to London and being the only girl, but you were always there. Now I'm thinking, I remember coming to London and being the only girl, but no one was there. So you don't go into the industry thinking you're going to be a change. You already are the change. Artistic integrity, very good. That we involved for a long time. Yeah, finding my niche. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Making work I don't believe in. Yes. Hope, connect with bodies. Yes. Dealing with injuries. Yes. Fearing that there is now a bigger gap between those who already experienced work versus those who missed out because of the pandemic. Okay. Wow, that's an interesting one. Right. This is the thing. I thought by the age of 25, I was going to be a superstar and travel the world and be accomplished and hang up my dancing boots and think I would live as a millionaire. At age 25, I thought that's what's going to happen. And then age 25 came and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I don't know where I'm going, okay? And then age 30, I thought, okay, that's it, I'm done. Age 30 came and I was like, oh my God, what am I still doing dancing? What's happening? Yeah. You might think that there's not enough time. There is loads of time. Yeah. This madness year that just happened, for sure, a lot of us missed out. A lot of us felt like, oh my God, I missed a whole year. And yes, if you go uni and stuff like that, I understand it's a vital thing, but it's just a year. Yeah. A lot of things can happen within another year. Yeah, you can get a lot of things happening with that year, and then it could be a year where nothing happens. You don't get no work, bare tumbleweeds, and you feel like, oh my God, I've lost the whole year. Yeah, that's the trajectory of the dance industry. It literally is a roller coaster. Yeah, and that's that roller coaster that you have to be okay with. You have to be going, okay, 1 year is not it, but what I'm going to do in that year, I'm going to spend my time in reading books, studying, develop myself so that I'm ready for the next year when I get more opportunities, or the year after that. Yeah. My whole career, there's not been like great year. It's literally been bad year, good year, bad year, bad, good year. Yeah. It's up and down. So don't worry about this year. This year, don't even think about it. Like I said with my birthday, I don't even count my birthday last year because it didn't happen. I didn't use it. I didn't use the year. Okay, let's move on because otherwise I'll be here talking forever. Okay, so question, and you can answer either all three or you can answer one. Why did you start dancing? What do you stand for? What are you passionate about? And what do you want to find out more about? So thinking about you going into the industry, why did you start dancing? Why are you guys here on this Zoom? What are you passionate about? What do you stand for? And the last question, what do you want to find out more about? So you can either answer all three or one or two. Everyone's typing away furiously. And while you're typing away, I can start. Why you start dancing? So my reason was I was bullied in school. I was treated as a naughty child in school because I was very misunderstood. And dancing was something that I always did naturally to me. So dancing was a safe space, a place where I was accepted. So it was a natural way for me to be drawn to dancing. That's why I started dancing. Passionate about empowering those involved in dance, whether they be on stage or watching a performance. Okay, so passionate about people that loves dancing in any shape or form. Okay, great. Any more? And I would love to hear from people actually visually say it, and rather than just write it. So you can just unmute yourself and talk to me. Yeah, please do, because it's nice to hear people as well.
Delving in.
Say it again.
I think I started dancing because I really liked the idea of making noise with my feet. I started clogging. And then I loved the way it made me feel. And I think that's why I followed it on, and I'm now doing it as a career, because then I felt like I could help other people feel that. So
nice. So it was like a feeling, it was a sensation for you.
Yeah, like a joy and a release and a relaxation.
Good. So there might have been something else in your life that made you feel like you needed that relaxation, you needed that kind of like vibe. Yeah, for sure, I get that. Yeah. But when I say why and why you started dancing, we often get, I just love dancing, I just love it, I just want to that. Sometimes we have, in order for us to really understand who we are as an artist, we have to look back and go and trace the steps of why not football, why not violin, why not drawing. Yeah, we all love something, that's great, but we also have to think about why. Was it something within our culture? Was it something that our parents did? Was it something that I needed an escape from something? I needed an outlet. You know, did I see something that changed my life? You know what I mean? So we really got to think about the why. Yeah, because then you have your starting block for you as an artist. Okay. And then we're thinking about, what do you stand for? So someone said feminist movements. Dancing is like breathing for me. Yeah, absolutely. And if it's like breathing for you, then you know it's something that moves you, that you can't live without. Great. Yeah. So what are we passionate about? What do we stand for? And once again, I would like to hear someone just on visually talking to me, please. Show the good in people, restore faith in humanity. Amy, who's that? Amy, what do you mean with that?
So I often find that there's a lot of, we're always told about the bad things that are happening in the world and the bad people. And it's very easy to get bogged down by that. And it's important to know about them, but it's also important to remember that there are good people, and I try and use my art to remind people of that and uplift people, give a bit of hope.
Nice. You want to use your art form to make a positive chain reaction, that there is still people that is good. Great. So that's where you stand. Anyone else? What are you passionate about? Pearl, what are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about females having a voice, like expressing through movement, and the fact that their bodies are out there on stage, just open for people to look at. I want them to be looked at in a way that's empowering rather than belittling, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like heels, and I'm very passionate about heels and Bob Fosse, and like the movement that comes from making women look beautiful rather than slutty or anything like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. But being slutty is not always wrong either. There's beauty in that as well. Yeah, and we have to think about how we are, referring to people in that way. But I know what you're talking about, just celebrating women's bodies. Absolutely. So when I say what you stand for, what you're passionate about, we often refer that to, like, obviously dance, because that's what we like, that's what we love, that's why we started. Sometimes I want you guys to also think about the outside of this, to bring yourself out of what you stand for, what you're passionate about. So for instance, I stand for the fact that I believe in equity. Yeah, I believe that everyone should be treated so that they have what they need. Yeah, I believe that, you know, we should live in a world where everyone that's homeless has houses, you know. So there's a lot of things that you can stand for in life. It doesn't always have to do with dancing, okay? And this will help you later on when, if you want to make dance pieces, theater, whatever, films, dance films, whatever, it will make you understand, okay, if I take myself out of dancing, what am I actually passionate about? I'm passionate about sitting on TV, watching TV series all day long and eating crap food. I love it. I'm passionate about it, yeah? Maybe I should make a whole, you know, dance film about that. Yeah, it's about taking yourself out of the normal questions and normal answers you have and dig deeper. Yeah, because this also informs you as a person. You might be passionate about quiet people and all people that's very nervous and shy, and you want to give them that comfort and place and space in the world. So you might make art that highlights those people, those hidden people that might be quiet in the corner. That is how you become an artist and what you stand for, yeah? And you have to think about what you stand for, and you got to think about it a lot. You got to inform yourself about that. You got to read books, you know. Sorry, but Pearl, so you said that you're interested in women's bodies. So maybe you need to think about sculpture and how people are drawing people, how people are photographing women's bodies. What's the difference in women's bodies? How, you know, what is celebrated and what is not celebrated. So it's all about that, and that informs who you are as a person, of like, this is what I'm standing for. To just be able to narrow things down, just be able to be clear of, this is the thing I'm passionate about, this is what I stand for, because it will help you in your path in how you make informed decisions of the directions you want to go in life. Yeah, I know that if someone is asking me, hey, can you do a workshop in hot pants for this guy, and you're going to get paid £15 an hour, it's not what I'm passionate about. It's not what I'm standing for. So I'm not going to go and do that, because it doesn't serve my path. It doesn't serve my mission and the values as me as a person, as an artist. Does that make sense? So we'll be able to make you form changes of like, that is not my path. This is my path. I'm not going to take this job because it's not actually serving my path. It doesn't serve my mission. Yeah. Because it's very easy to go and do a job just because you need to pay the bills. Yeah, it's very easy to just say yes to wearing an outfit when it doesn't make you feel good. Yeah, it's very dangerous in our industry to just say yes to things that you don't want to do. And I have done it many, many, many times, and I've regretted it many, many, many times. I don't do it anymore. And then what do you want to find out more about? Yeah, so that is the next step. Okay, so you know why you started this journey. You know what you are passionate about, what you stand for. Now you want to go, what else do I not know? What else do I want to know about the world? What else do I want to know about my industry? What else do I want to know about people that works in my industry? And that is about finding different avenues, yeah? So whenever we say dancing, yes, many people want to be teachers or lead their own dance groups or be backing singers or whatnot, yeah? But there's so many different paths in our industry that will still allow you to be a dancer or work within dance or movement, yeah? There's so many ways, and many people say, oh, you know, by the age this, you're done, you know, all your bodies are broken or whatever. Yes, it can happen, but not if you obviously keep physically healthy, yeah, and keeping your body as sharp as a plumber uses his tool. Your body is your tool. So that means physio is literally Jesus Christ right now. Okay, like physio is your friend. Physio is your friend. Yeah. Do not buy those trainers that looks really good. Go to the physio. I'm telling myself. Yeah. Go to the physio, because if you can't move, you can't work. Yeah. But if you can't move, it's not the end. Yeah, many people, that's not the end. There's so many different parts. So if you are interested and you ask, and you know, you want to know more about, hey, I want to know more about drama therapy. Like, I want to know what, like, how does that work? You go and ask, you go and find more about drama therapy. You're still a movement artist, but you finding out more stuff. Me, I was like, I don't really enjoy just doing dancing anymore, like just being on stage and saying nothing. So what am I interested in? I want to know more about theater. So I went, okay, let me find out more about theater. And that also will shift how you are as an artist, and it will highlight different parts of yourself that is in you. All of it is in you, but you have to just pull it out of yourself. Yeah. And that's how you go. I'm a dance artist that started dancing because I love the sound of hoofing and rhythms. Now I'm passionate about the rights for Black jazz artists and how they are using them, how where hoofing started in Black culture. And then now I'm going on to learn about Stomp, the musical. And maybe now I'm starting to look at in musical scores of like rhythm and sounds, or I'm working with a film artist that likes to work with movement and hearing the sounds in the film. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how you expand from why did you start it to where are you going. Does that make any sense whatsoever? Yeah. And if you can note that down and jot that down throughout your whole sort of journey, whenever you get stuck, because we all get stuck all the time, whenever you get stuck as an artist, just go, okay, okay, why am I here? Why am I here? I'm here because this and this. Okay, what am I passionate about? I'm still passionate about this. I'm not passionate about this. Okay, what do I want to know more about? I want to know more about this. And then you can move on. Cool. Oh, wow, websites. Oh. Good. I've got to update my website. All right, so let's move on to unconscious bias and diversity. And if you see me looking up this, it's because I'm looking at my notes. What do we know? What do we know about, how does that affect unconscious bias and diversity? How does that affect us? How does that affect the dance industry and us with being in the dance industry? Throw out, and once again, I want to hear voices. Don't think so much about writing, just voices. And if you don't know, just say, I don't know. I will call people out. I will call names out. That's how we do in hip hop. We just call people out. Sophie, what's your thoughts?
It's something that has to always be checked because it can be so like unconscious to treat people differently, even if you think that you aren't.
Mm-hmm. How do you guys feel? How would it affect your actual career? How would unconscious bias? Do everyone know what unconscious bias is? If you don't know, then say you don't know. Okay, so unconscious bias is thoughts that we formulate in our heads when we see somebody or a situation or a person or a culture that we are not know about or aware about or haven't grown up to understand. Yeah, so it's making snap judgment of somebody or situation without knowing anything about it. Okay, everyone has unconscious bias. Everyone. Okay, some people are aware of it, some people are not aware of it. It doesn't make you go, oh, sorry, I'm not racist, I'm just unconscious bias. This is not okay. Yeah, everyone has unconscious bias because of our culture and how we grew up, right? So if you grew up in Stoke-on-Trent, never saw Black people, only surround yourself with white people, and the only vision you have of black people is maybe being arrested or doing bad stuff, your unconscious bias are always going to feel a bit nervous around Black people. Okay, if you grow up in a household that didn't celebrate Christmas, your unconscious bias is going to go, well, Christmas doesn't matter. Yeah, because I didn't grow up with it, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so it's this thoughts that we make snap judgment decisions of things. Okay, and how we grow up, what we see in media, for instance, not seeing people of diverse ethnic backgrounds on TV. Yeah, people, if we don't see that on media, we're not gonna relate to that. Yeah, so that's what unconscious bias is. Yeah, And we all know what diversity is. This is what we want. Yeah. So how do you think your unconscious bias or people's unconscious bias to you will affect you in the dance industry? And unconscious unconscious bias could be how you speak, how you look like, any visible or invisible disability, yeah, sex, anything, yeah, religion, anything. Yes, go for it, Isabel.
I think that the dance industry in general's unconscious bias would benefit me quite a lot, because I'm a white woman that's very well spoken from the South, young. I have a certain eloquence that I suppose I'm quite good at writing and stuff, and I think that benefits me a lot in application processes and things that will make it more likely for people like me to get funding and support. And I'm aware of that.
So that leads me to the next thing then. What's that called? What's that called? What you have?
Privilege.
Privilege. Very good. So let's discuss privilege, because we hear privilege a lot, right? We hear a lot in media, and specifically we hear white privilege, right? But are we aware that there's different types of privilege? There's different layers to privilege, okay? So for instance, we got white privilege, we got religious privilege, gender privilege, heterosexual privilege, social economic privilege. So you as women, what privilege do you not have?
Male privilege.
Yeah, gender privilege, yeah? Okay, so that will hold you back. Okay, if you are white and you are black, then you have white privilege. Yeah, if you're from upper class or working class, you have a different privilege there. Yeah, you might see that a lot in different applications right now, like what's your social economical background, for instance. Yeah, if you are straight, you have a privilege like that. Yeah, if you are religious, yeah, you have a privilege in that way. And for instance, if you practice religion, you might have to pray 5 times a day. Yeah, so we have all different privilege in our life, and the way that we are using them can either hinder or better our industry. Yeah, so sometimes we feel really bad, like, oh, I'm a white person, I feel really bad, I'll have privilege. It's not about that. Yeah, in the classes that I teach about unconscious bias, it's not about feeling bad for the privilege that you have, but understanding the privilege that you have and understanding what privilege other people do not have, and therefore working towards a better that for others. For instance, I don't sit in a wheelchair, and if I go to a tube station in London and there's only stairs, I'm kind of going, oh, yeah, right. That might be really difficult for someone who's in a wheelchair. Yeah, I'm not going to feel bad for it, but I'm going to be aware that if I see someone needs help, I'll be like, okay, you know what, let me help this person. Yeah, and that's how we operate in our industry. Yeah, we have to be aware of the privilege that we have. Yes, you're going to get certain auditions, you might get certain placements, you might be able to do more work than someone from an ethnical background. Yeah, but then it's about, okay, how do I change this in my industry? Maybe work with someone who is from an ethnic background that's different from yours. Maybe work with people that has disabilities. Yeah, maybe hire someone that you wouldn't hire before, because that way you open up and you're using your privilege for the better. And therefore we are changing our industry and making a better world that we all want to live in. Yeah, what's the difference between equality and equity?
Hi.
Hi.
So the way I understand it is that equality is everyone is like literally treated exactly the same, and equity is giving everyone the thing that they need so that we can all be the same.
Perfect. Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. That's exactly it. Quality is giving everybody what they what they have, like the same, and equity is giving everybody what they need. Yeah. And it's a great image online that you can see, like someone looking over the fence. And equality is everyone has the same box, but some people are shorter, some people are sitting in a wheelchair, some people are really tall and they can see over the fence. And then equity is like, okay, well, you need a little bit further, you need a box that's bigger, you need a box that's shorter. Yeah. And then everyone can see over the fence. Yeah. And that's kind of what we want. We want equity. We want everyone to be able to have the same, but for their needs. Yeah. And so it's the same thing with you. Yeah. Going in, someone will tell you, so you only worked here for a year and, you know, I'm only going to pay you this much. You might have studied exactly the same as someone else. And then you go, hold on, but I know exactly the same as this person. And now you're just going to pay me £15 an hour. Huh? That is not equity. Yeah. So be aware of that when you're working in the industry. Yeah. Be aware of that. That's for everyone. Cool. Gosh, time. All right, I'm going to skip forward. So when you see some injustice, because we all agree here that we want equity. When you see injustice, what do you feel like you can do as an ally, as a person who wants to change this industry and going into this industry? Yes, go for it.
I guess start would be like calling it out so that it's seen as that you disagree with the way that it's being addressed or treated.
Excellent. So what's the difference between calling out and calling in? Okay, so there's a difference. So calling out is bigger. So let's say Southwest Dance, Southeast Dance decided to say, no, we're not going to have anyone with brown hair in this building. This is not for me. Yeah. And you will go, hold on, Southeast Dance is not, no. So you will call out Southeast Dance, right? But if Lou Rogers said, hey, I'm not sure if we should have people with brown hair in the building. What do you think? Then Amalia, I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. You will go, hey, Lou, can we have a conversation? I know you said this, and I don't know if you really mean this, but yeah. So calling in is more personal, yeah, is a direct action to a person, most person to person, when you feel like, hold on, let me just investigate a little bit deeper into this. And calling out is when you go, nah, everyone's got to be called out, and the whole building is going to be called out because it's not right here. Does that make sense? So often with our friends, we will call in rather than, you know, put them on social media and said, oh, so-and-so said this, yeah? So be careful of how you call in something out. Be also aware that someone might not have asked you to call something in or be called in, yeah? Be aware that, hold on, let me listen to the situation. Let me approach the person, ask, hey, if you are in need of any help, I'm here. If you don't, I'm absolutely understanding, yeah? You're going to be in very uncomfortable situation at times. Yeah, you as women need to be prepared. There's going to be moments where it's not appropriate. You need to call out straight away. Don't wait. Don't leave the room and feel uncomfortable and feel hurt and vulnerable. Every time you see a situation that is not right, every time you're in a position that is not right, anytime you're compromised for you as a person, call it out there and then. Yeah. Because it's your mental health, it's your safety that you are continuing on in the industry for years to come. You know, you will have women who will say something happened, you know, in drama school and I've never got over it since. Yeah. Don't let it happen to you. Yeah. We live in a whole new era where you can, there's so many ways you can do this and you can call out. Don't wear a costume that you don't feel comfortable in. Don't let anyone, you know, automatically say, well, you're a girl, so you should wear the dress. If you're a girl who doesn't wear dresses, you say, actually, no. Yeah. Don't be afraid to lose a job to stop your integrity and your value as a person and the reason why you started dance to stop you. Yeah. Super important. And don't waste your time. If someone doesn't want to hear it, they don't want to hear it. Don't waste your time. Moving on. Because there will be someone else who can, you know, teach them about all of that stuff. Yeah. But if it affects you or affects someone that you care about, use your voice, use your privilege, use your positions. Yeah, so important today. Cool, moving on. If anyone has any questions or anything, no, we good? Cool, okay. So then that last thing I want to speak about, recognizing your power of your voice. Yeah, we have touched on it throughout. Don't underestimate yourself. You might feel like, oh, I'm just so-and-so from so-and-so. No one knows me. I'm nobody. I can't make a change. I was a so-and-so from somewhere and a nobody. Yeah. Everyone matters. Your voice matters. Your voice holds power. Yeah. And it can change yours and other people's paths. You're just got to stay true to what you believe in and be really open for change, yeah, and open to embrace other people's ideas, yeah, as well as embracing your own ideas. Super important. Understand your rights. Read your contracts. Yeah, like seriously. Normally when you got a contract, you skim it over, yeah, whatever. Read your contracts. Know your rights. Yeah, because you can get in some serious sticky situations. Yeah, if you don't. Been there. Woo! Safeguarding as adults. Often we talk about safeguarding for kids, but sometimes as adults, we don't know how to turn to. Yeah. So as a woman, an older woman, you might be in the dance company, your dance leader or choreographer or person might be really inappropriate, say something really inappropriate. You get home, you feel really horrible, you feel like you can't do anything, you tell your friends and that's it. No. Does everyone know what a LADO is? LADO. LADO. Okay, so LADO is your local area designated officer, safeguarding officer. So if you're in a company and you cannot go anywhere further because the people that's on top of the people, you can't trust them. You can go to a LADO. It's a person in your area that you can report any sexual misconduct, any sexually inappropriate behavior, anything that you feel is not safe to you or to someone that you've seen something, and you can't go to the people in your company, organization or whatever. Yeah, it's important that you know who that is, because if you're ever in a situation like that, you can report it to them. Obviously NSCPCC as well, but LADO is one a little bit more direct. Yeah. And don't be afraid to say no. There will be another job. There will be another place. There will be another opportunity. Yeah. Trust me. Do not be afraid to say no, because no will get you much more grief down the line than going, I don't think this is for me. Thank you very much. Yeah. Always go back to your why. Why am I here? What am I passionate about being here? I really want to be in this company. This company means a lot to me. That, you know, what do I want to know? I want to know more about how they are, you know, using their bodies to do this, whatever. Yeah. Just think about those three things and then, you know, say yes or no. Yeah. But don't do things just because you are worried about paying your rent. Your rent will be paid. Yeah. Trust me, it will come. Good. Any last questions before we go on anything? And fire away. Could be literally anything. Could be anything. Yes. Join equity. You're gonna get what's it called? Get injury protection. Yeah. Because if you get injured, like Lou here, and she hasn't got protection, you're not getting paid when she can't work. So get that. It's very important. Any other questions? Come on. Yes, Amy.
So I teach at a little dance school in Canterbury, and we have a class kind of titled hip hop that I teach. And this has been a debate that I've seen for a while about what's the correct labeling of what is hip hop and what's not. And things that are probably more on the commercial dance side of things rather than the core hip hop styles. I was just wondering what your thoughts are on that whole thing.
Well, Great, thank you for that question. Well, what it's not is urban. Okay, so the course I'm teaching, Sophie and Emma here now, I got to name it myself, which is rare for higher education to tell you, like, what do you want to call this? Because often it's called urban or streets or whatever. But I don't know what dance styles you do, but I've never heard of urban jazz or, you know, suburban ballet or, you know, upper high streets contemporary, okay? Urban is an area, okay? It's an area. And often it's an area connotated with people of low class, black ethnic backgrounds, not rich, okay? So to call something urban is quite offensive, yeah? It's like saying this module is for people that is not rich, different ethnic backgrounds, and that's what they're doing over there, yeah? And that's not as bad. Hip hop, if you're teaching hip hop, there's 4 pillars of hip hop. If you teach hip hop, if you have the foundation, if you know the history, if you know the culture, if you understand African American social culture, you can name it hip hop. If you don't teach that, I don't know what you're doing, but you ain't doing hip hop. If you have teachers who are knowledgeable in African American social dances, vernacular dances, then you can call it hip hop. You can even call it street dances, dances. Vernacular dances means dances that was not made in a studio. And hip hop was not made in a studio. It was made from dances from the street, aka street dance. So if they teaching that, live your best life. If they ain't teaching that, you shouldn't be teaching anything and shouldn't charge your students for anything. Yes, any other questions? Go for it, Belinda.
It's not really a question. I just wanted to share this, because what you were saying about like, do say no if you feel like this isn't your thing. I just thought that was a really powerful message, because I was talking to my friend the other day about how in this industry, when we get things, we're made to feel that it's really like lucky, and we're lucky to have that opportunity. And I don't know if that is a thing in other industries. Like, if someone was a lawyer and you studied hard at school, did law at university, and did whatever they did to become a lawyer, you wouldn't think that they got there by luck.
Mm-hmm.
So why is that a thing in our industry?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I just wanted to share that.
And beautifully put, absolutely. You know, dance is often seen as the lowest of industries. I mean, we've seen it now, you know, in the world that we live in. Dance was the last thing on people's minds, even though everyone was home watching musicals and theaters and reading books and listening to music. Artists are always the lowest of the lowest. Yet we are the glue that holds people together, literally together. So therefore, you have to understand your power in what you have as a person, in your occupation, and your life path. Yeah, we get so much grief for choosing to be artists. Yeah, but we are bringing so much joy and love and passion and meaning to people's life, that how can we possibly be the bottom of the bottom? We can't, right? So therefore, no one should ever take advantage of you. No one should ever be allowed to take advantage of you and anything that you decide to do. Yes, your choices might not be always the best choices, but it's your choices, yeah? And there's people out there, like you said, find out more information. If you don't know it, there's people that's been there before you. Ask them. Value people that's done your craft for longer. We live in a world where everyone wants to learn things real fast and be real good real fast. But there's people that's been doing it for years without the means that we have today. Learn from them. Trust me, you will learn a lot, and you will get a lot of valuable information. Yes. Was that a question in the chat, or doing things for exposure? Yeah, I always say this. This exposure is not paying my bills. My bills is not 100% to 200 pounds exposure. So, and you know, some people, even artists, will write it underneath in their email saying, I do not work for exposure. Once again, know what you stand for. If you stand for artists being properly paid, you do not take that £15. You do not go, you can get a pair of sneakers to be in my video. oh, if you just do this video, I will do something else for you later on. No, because if you say yes, someone else will say, sorry, if you say yes, you have broken down the chain of someone who says no because of the integrity. Do you understand? So you then basically ruin it for the next person, yeah? Be the one who says no. You will be more respected in the industry by standing by your values at all times. Yes. Yeah, people die of exposures, yes. Sunburnt. Any other questions before we go? Yes, Pearl.
There isn't, I find it difficult because there's not like a guideline, like what's minimum wage for a music video, what's minimum wage for like a stage performance. I don't understand like what's good pay and what's not. That's where I fall short. Like I know like I've had shoots where it would be like really bad compared to some other shoots, but I don't know what's the borderline where I should refuse.
So there's great people out there that can help you with that. There's one agency called Freestyle Your Agency. Let me just think here what they're called. Free Your Agency. Anyway, and Equity as well. Equity is very good with that. They will often kind of go Freeco Agency. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it for you. Equity will give you some ideas of what you're supposed to be paid, but the problem with Equity, sometimes they value you in terms of like how long you've been in the industry, what have you been doing, yada yada yada. All I'm saying is this, right? It is hard, but they're called that agency, Free Call Your Agency. I can send it on to Lou so she can send it out if anything. It's on my Instagram as well, if you need to know. But think about it as this. Think about how much you need to prepare. So do you need to make choreography for the music video? Do you need to purchase any clothing for the video? Do you need to wear any makeup for the video? Do you need to, do you need to have time to travel there or travel back? Is there petrol money? Is there a bus pass? Whatever. Calculate all of those costs, yeah? Figure out how much that will cost you. And then check what they're offering. And if they're offering a very little, yeah, then you got to value all of this, yeah, to get there, to stand in the cold for 12 hours. You got to count the hours you're going to be there. So you're going to ask them, how long am I going to be there? Oh, we're about to wrap up in a few hours. You know that's not true. You know it takes a long time to do a music video, right? So you got to calculate the cost of being there, right? Then you might have a little bit of food. Yeah, so that's another cost. So calculate all of those costs and then see what they're offering. If that doesn't remotely is in the same, you know it's not well paid. Yeah, and that goes for teaching as well. Count the hours that it's going to take you to teaching. The hour it takes you to teach and the hour it takes you to come home. That's 3 hours normally for teaching. And they only paying you for that 1 hour unless they're paying you to get there. You got to calculate all of that. The hours took you to make a routine for the class. Yeah, and then you can figure out, is this a good pay or not good pay? And if it's not, don't do it. Don't do it. Yes. Okay, last question, and then I will let you go in the sunshine. No, we're all good. We're all good. Okay, so once again, if you want to know more about my story, go on to Hip Hop Almanac. I'm on Instagram, Rowdy Yami, Twitter, Rowdy Yami. I talk a lot of rubbish most of the time. You can follow my stuff there. My only advice for you is don't hang yourself up on too early of what your niche is. I'm still trying to figure out what my niche is. And many people will tell me what my niche is, but I'm still trying to figure out, and I've been 21 years in the business, yeah? Don't hang yourself up on it. Just do you. Think about those 3 questions. Do you, and you will find what it is that you are good at, yeah? I'm good at talking rubbish most of the time. It's what I do, yeah? You will find what you're good at, and it will come to you. You'll sleep, and then you wake up and you go, oh my God, I like clay making and I'm going to do this with dance. That's my thing. That's my niche. You know what I mean? But don't focus on that because it will stop you in your progress. With that, Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate all of you. I hope to see you in the future in the flesh one day. Hopefully you guys can hire me, you know, we all need work in these days. And have an awesome, awesome day.
Thank you so much, Yami. That was